What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Gamestarter interview. We're here today joined by Ryan and Atif of the KOLnet project. They are our first non-gamified project that's launching off of Gamestarter. We decided we wanted to sit down, have a chat with these gentlemen, hear a little more about KOLnet, what they are building in the space, and what we're looking forward to kind of coming from them. I know they're an exciting project. They definitely are changing the game for marketing in general, and how projects come into the space to raise money and to get promotion through KOLs or key opinion leaders. So, guys, if you would you just do a quick introduction? Ryan, maybe you can start us off, just hear a little bit about you, and then we'll go to Atif, and you guys can talk a little bit about KOLnet and kind of just introduce the project.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Ryan, a CEO of KOLnet and co-founder. A little bit about my background. So I've been in tech for the last 20 years, primarily in the telecommunications, energy, and a bit of healthcare as well. Tech disciplines have been across like big data, smart IoT, PKI, public infrastructure, and that's kind of like where it led me into crypto around 2017, and that's where my interest was tweaked. Yeah, so a little bit about myself, and I'll let Atif introduce himself as well.
That's right. So my name is Atif, also co-founder, COO of KOLnet. So I've got a slightly different background. I come from a complete business strategist background, where I've just under 2 decades now. I've been on that side, involved with startups and many companies. Crypto, I got involved early 2017. We started with opening a large mining center in partnership with Borealis data center in Iceland. From there, it was purely a case of research, advice, being involved with GBC, Blockchain Consortium in UK, and really dug into it from there. And then we obviously went into the bear market, stuck around with it, kept working with some people quite heavily involved in crypto, which ended up meaning also working closely with some of the founders of current projects, so understanding what's happening in the market, what the problems are, while working very closely with them, which kind of has led us also to KOLnet today. Because the idea is actually solving a real issue that's currently in the market, and so we've got good background, been in the market for quite a while, understand the space quite well, and coming with a solution that is needed from a Web3 angle.
No, that's awesome. It definitely gives me confidence in the project, hearing your guys' backgrounds, hearing the experience with tech, with crypto in general, just being in the space, understanding what's going on with marketing, with the future of technology in general, and the financial system. So like I said, definitely bolsters my confidence with all of that. So awesome to hear. So introduce us to KOLnet. What exactly is the platform, and what problem is it solving?
Yeah, sure. I mean, KOLnet is an innovative KOL, key opinion leader, which is an alternative phrase or term for influencer or content creator. And it's an exclusive KOL exclusive or influencer exclusive launchpad that allows early stage projects to optimize their marketing strategy using Web3. There's nothing like it in terms of our vehicle that allows this to happen within. It's kind of like a DeFi MarTech solution, and it's initial marketing offerings. And the whole idea behind IMOs is that they attract key opinion leaders, content creators, to be rewarded in return for like social media marketing of pre-sale tokens and their utilities. So the KOLs take risk in terms of coming in and saying, we're going to get involved in a project really early. We believe in this project. It's super cool. It could be gaming or whatever, traditional DeFi, and they bring usership by expanding that to an audience. And so this is value for those tokens, rather than just having purely a investor approach to those early tokens. So that's what KOLnet does, and it's an initial offering.
No, it's awesome. That definitely, like you said, it is innovative, and I've definitely never heard kind of that solution. I definitely obviously hear projects reaching out, and it's a pain. I mean, that's something that it's one of my roles is reaching out to these KOLs and saying, hey, can we offer you this? Hey, I've got a project here. Do you want to work with? And all that. It's very, right. It's very, as organized as we try to be. It's just you're reaching out to all these people individually and all these things, and it's all very scattered and very. It feels unprofessional. So, and not professional, but you know what I'm saying, kind of unorganization.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think not many people realize how important marketing is for projects. A lot of projects actually don't make it very far because they're not able to connect with communities. And influencers do a really good job of that because they come with a specific set of experience. So there could be a gamer. Talking to Gamestarter, this is really homes in on the point that they're a gamer. They have some followers or subscribers who are interested in their opinion, and through their expertise, they're able to say, you know what, I really love this play to earn for these reasons. This is the utility. This is why I really enjoy it, and they're able to make simple that explanation of what that project is trying to achieve. And if they can do that, then that followership then gets involved, and it doesn't have to be financial. They get involved in terms of purely playing it, or and any every other aspect of that project potentially offers. So it's really, really important, and a lot of the budgets, even up to 1/3, I've heard some projects are spending on marketing. It's humongous. The marketing budgets are so big, and influencers they take large allocations from these projects, and what projects get in return can sometimes be a little bit undefined. We can put it that way. So what KOLnet does is that it stores all of this on the blockchain. Smart contracts solves this relationship between content creators and Web3 tokenized offerings or projects. And it's super cool in that respect, and there's nothing else like it.
No, it's great. So it really like kind of, first of all, I see it as almost like a marketplace for for the KOLs themselves too, because they get to go in and say, I want to get involved with some projects. Let's go see, curate a nice curated list of projects that you can go kind of almost shop for to be involved with, which is really cool. And then it also gives that voice to the smaller project who might not have that audience, might have that reach, and they're able to reach out to these bigger players, and all of a sudden get that exposure that they're so looking for. And like you said, if a small project that doesn't have a big following, it can be really hard to build that traction. So super cool solution on both sides. And that's why I love to see those projects that kind of take care of both, right? And like I see crypto as a whole, taking care of both sides of the equation. Like with Gamestarter, it enables our developers to do more things, but it also enables our our gamers and our players to do more things. So it's this beautiful like synergy on benefiting on both sides, which is what we really look for in that value. So very, very cool.
Just to add to that, I think one of the important things it also does is it opens the arena where a lot of KOLs who are right now not even involved within crypto, it gives them a reason to come in, and it takes that load off. Obviously, we take the load off from bringing micro-influencers in general, but then opening it up to people outside of crypto as well, and allowing them to kind of step in and be able to learn, come in, and there's clearly a lot of guys that are probably outside of crypto right now who've got a lot of value to provide as well. So yeah. I think
that reduces some of that risk maybe, or that kind of like the feeling of scrappiness with the space. Sometimes it almost no, I like that a lot. It kind of smooths the rough edges a little bit with that.
Yeah, and the space is growing, right? The space has been growing. I think back in 2017-18 we had about just under 5,000 projects, or just around that number. I think right now we're sitting about 20,000 projects, and the space is generally growing. And I mean, you can't have the same limited number of influencers trying to promote all those projects. There's clearly, I mean, that on its own should tell you there's probably a lot of good projects that are just stuck in that somewhere, just not even getting heard about. So
visibility, right?
Yeah.
So now going along with the platform itself, there is a KOL token. Tell us a little bit about that utility, the benefits of, a lot of people will say like, oh, why does this project need a token? What's the actual benefit of that? Can I just get paid directly in the project that is being being promoted or whatever? So could you tell us a little bit about the utility of the KOL token?
Yeah, sure. So there's three primary utilities that go alongside the IMOs. And the idea behind it is that anyone can get access to pre-sale tokens, and all you have to do is stake KOL to do that. So effectively, a percentage of every IMO that comes through KOLnet will be funneled into a reward pool, and that reward pool will be available to anyone staking KOL, which is super cool, and again, very, very unique.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
And then also, like for the KOLs, I switched to the micro KOLs because we're focused on micro KOLs. We can kind of talk about that a little bit later on. But for the KOLs, the influencers, it's going to be first come, first serve. So if you get in on these projects and the IMO is done, then you don't have any more access. So the next Axie Infinity or the next really hot project that comes through, you can stake KOL to get first access to some of these IMO pools. And then for the projects, we're doing some really super cool stuff with data, because KOLnet is very data based in terms of the modeling of that data, data augmentation, trend analysis. So we look at this and we're calling this performance marketing. So, where did the last 3 play to earn games do really well in terms of influencers? It could have been in, I don't know, in Asia, South America, and East Europe. So, the next project that comes through, those are the kind of within the platform, you'll be able to select that I want 20% of my KOLs to come from Japan, for example. Wow. So that's performance marketing. And in order to get access to those services, you need to be holding the KOL token.
No, I love that. It almost kind of reminds me of ad platforms with with Facebook, with Google, whatever. You start going kind of into the details and you say, well, who am I targeting, right? My target audience, that kind of thing. And now you're targeting influencers that you want to join on the project. So it really gives this filter to finding the perfect KOLs to promote your project. So no, it's awesome. Love to hear the utility of the token. Love to hear, like I said, the innovation behind the whole project. Super cool, guys. Can you tell us a little bit about the partners that you guys have been dealing with that you're excited for, and then maybe some of those projects that you're looking to target, or that you might even have lined up ready to go, on launch, and the timeline in general as far as all that kind of goes.
Yeah. So in terms of partners, so for us, the VCs are one of the great partners because of being able to bring that deal flow to the projects to the platform. We've got NGC, one of the oldest VCs in the space, with quite a few other really strong VCs, with our faculty group being there, SL2 Capital being there, AG Ventures and M6 KOL funds being involved as well. Faculty and SL2 from that being our advisors as well. Apart from that, we have already partnered with Solana Prime, Thourstarter, Gamestarter as well. Infinity Pad, which is a sister launchpad of DAO Maker. We're working very closely with them, with the idea of actually being able to do IMOs for projects that potentially do IDOs prior to their IDOs. So giving that project that visibility, that marketing before it even does the IDO. And as well, included within that, working very closely with Crypto Zin community, massive community, DeFi Collective, Arcana Ventures. One important one.
This list goes on to Total Gaming on there as well.
There's Total Gaming there. So there's all these areas that we've got. RS Growth is on board, a massive marketing agency, crypto agency from India, which actually bring a lot of deal flow side as well. They're really well connected. So we've covered those areas quite well. With also, just to add within that, with our development, which our MVP was built, we'll go a bit more into that a bit later, but our MVP being developed end of last year as well. So we're coming into the market not as a deck or just a pitch deck, right? It's actually coming in with the MVP built, the live product almost around the corner. It's just not too far out. And already creating all these pipelines for deal flows with partners for projects, as well as the micro KOL side. So we've spoken to a lot of micro KOLs one-to-one as well through some pipelines. So signing them up, and we've had a whole bunch of micro KOLs that have actually hundreds of them sign up through our platform already.
No, I love that. You guys are coming out the gate swinging. That's definitely what we like to hear.
Yeah, and I think it's important just to highlight the bit that Atif left was kind of leading into about micro KOLs. The micro KOLs are really. I don't think crypto's caught up with this fact that a lot of the big names out there, they've got huge followerships. But what data has proven is that smaller influencers generate engagement rates that far exceed those celebrity or macro influencers, and that's almost by like 4 up to 8x depending on which region you're in. So effectively, it's almost like crowd marketing. So you've heard of like microloans or crowdfunding, but it is that effect whereby rather than bringing on one macro influencer with 100,000 followers with an engagement rate of under 2%, you're bringing on 10 micro KOLs who have got 4 times that engagement rate. So effectively, you're getting more bang for your buck. Other than the fact that they're multi-reach, they span across massive geographic locations, and then they're very targeted. So you get this idea of curated influencers. So I kind of mentioned this before, like gaming or NFTs and so on. So there's that whole being able to target individual audiences to bring on the right level of conversation or community, and this leads ultimately to like a higher conversion that projects actually want. So I think monetizing micro KOLs, especially in gaming, bringing them in from outside of crypto. Atif mentioned India. India is absolutely humongous. They're only just getting into crypto. They've got a growing middle class over there, and a generation who are now starting to understand it and believe in it, and it's a massive usership. So that's where the focus needs to be, in bringing new blood into crypto in terms of adoption.
Yeah, and I think just an important point to add with that. So we're not saying that the larger influencers KOLs are not effective, or they're not needed, as marketing requires a whole bunch of different areas covered, right? So yeah, there's still guys out there that are very useful. So it's going to be part of project's marketing strategy to bring some of them on as well. It's just another stream we're providing, and in that marketing, allowing projects to actually get access to these micro KOLs. And within our platform, while we are actually focusing on micro KOLs, it doesn't stop the large KOLs to get access to it as well. Neither does it stop the nano KOLs. So we want even the smaller KOLs in comparison to the micro KOLs, the nano KOLs, to come in, join in, grow their followership. The thing we are going to, so we don't want to limit people from the followerships they've got. Obviously, there will be a minimum requirement, but what we do want to make sure is that the quality is there. So if you're even a nano KOL, yeah, as long as you've got quality to bring in, we rank you according to that, and we can see that you are providing the value. Come in, join in, get access to those pre-sold tokens, grow your followership, and move up.
No, I love that. That sounds, like you said, there's so many different types of influencers out there, and so many types of marketing, schematics to figure out. I mean, what you were saying, Ryan, as far as like the benefit of the smaller influencers, I feel like you end up having more of that community trust with them, right? So you have like the big kind of celebrity influencers, and a lot of times, I know a lot of people have this, they take things with a grain of salt, blah, blah, blah. But when you have like the smaller, those 10, 20, 50,000 follower, influencers, they've built this community very organically at that point, and they've built a lot of trust among them. So I can definitely see that engagement rate and overall conversion rate could be so valuable. But obviously the spread and the reach of those macro influencers obviously can be, so important as well. So having that mix is awesome. And it's interesting because it's almost like a not self-fulfilling, but you're promoting to influencers who in turn promote what you're doing. So it almost has this kind of internal marketing genius behind it too, where you're attracting people who are marketers in and of themselves. So super cool to see the vision behind that as well. Do you have a rough timeline? Do you have like an initial kind of launch of that first initial marketing offering that is going to come to the project?
Yeah. So sorry, right? You got.
Yeah, so we're version 1 will be out in June.
Okay.
We'll be conducting a whole bunch of beta testing. So we've got hundreds of micro KOLs lined up who have pre-registered to use KOLnet. They'll be coming on board, giving us their feedback. We've got projects lined up, and then in July we'll actually be putting out the IMOs, and we'll be announcing those closer to the time.
Cool. No, it's super exciting.
Again, just to kind of cover this, just in case someone's wondering. So just to give you a bit more clarification on the IMOs. So IMOs, they provide a project to be able to raise funds in return for their tokens. I mean, people I know may have questions. Okay, does that kind of take IDOs out of the question, or how does it work with the IDOs? We ourselves are not competing with the IDOs. If a project decides that we only want to go and do an IMO and launch, that's entirely up to them. We're in fact partnering up with the IDO platforms, where we actually do as I mentioned earlier with InfinityPad, being able to do an IDO prior to doing an IMO prior to doing an IDO. So prior to, for example, a project maybe does 4 weeks or 6 weeks prior to the IDO, holds an IMO, builds that community, has a reach out, and then it does this IDO and launches into the market. So it's going to be entirely up to the project what approach they want to take. But from our side, we're not competing with the IDO platforms.
Cool. No, I appreciate the clarification. That sounds like a good synergy there, and not overstepping on either side of things. So, do you guys have any particular stories or challenges that you guys have had to face kind of coming through all this, or things that may have arisen that you didn't quite expect? I know a lot of people like to kind of hear the backstory behind the scenes of you guys. It's easy to think of a project as just this entity, but I mean, you guys are real people in the trenches grinding it out, and probably coming across things that you didn't expect, or challenges you had to overcome. So what does that look like right now for you guys?
So I think in the early days it was really trying to convince people, because within crypto, narrative plays a big part of how people get involved in projects. So if you're not gaming or NFTs or traditional DeFi, people will think that, where is the value in this project? And so for us, talking to early investors, it was getting across that actually the lens by which everyone accesses these narrative plays is effectively through marketing. So KOLnet will become part of the industry furniture, if you like.
Right.
And so that was the first challenge that we kind of faced, and I think once we got that across, that it is this balance between marketing technology and DeFi within the token swaps that underlies the way that the IMOs work, and solving that problem that's in the space with a small number of big influencers having this limited airtime, and all of these projects just trying to get them to promote them. It really is a massive problem, and also just managing them as well. So and also it was our initial kind of approach was like, we want to speak to the big influencers too, and talking to them, we found that actually they had so much success in the current model that they didn't see the value. Well, they did see the value in KOLnet, but they were like, well, I'm okay. I've earned loads of X's, and therefore, we don't need to use KOLnet. And that led us to really scratching our head, thinking, well, there is a problem in this space, and where is this usership coming from? And as soon as we made that connection, as we looked through the data, that micro influencers were doing this for free, almost, some of them, just because of the love of the industry and what Web3 really brings, that they weren't being monetized. So as soon as we started speaking to those guys, it was just literally, we were flooded, which was a nice problem, and kind of like the way it was. Yeah, the way that solution was, that it really bolstered our own confidence in KOLnet, delivering it and putting that time and energy into actually building out a solution like this. So yeah, I mean, it really now has come to fruition, and we've got the balance right between the IMO, the marketing part of it, and the DeFi part of it as well, remunerating and rewarding people involved.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we have. I mean, yeah, just picking up from there. I mean, we have, without a doubt. I mean, keeping it, keeping it. I mean, I wouldn't call them problem. I'd call them challenges, but there has been numerous, right? And it's tough. There's times you have your ups and downs. The market with it, the market's behavior. I mean, one of the biggest challenges you have, just like currently, right, is the moment the market starts turning, you're having all these like really strong conversations, and the mood, just sentiment changes, and all of a sudden, the conversation that was about to just happen the next day, or you're about to close something off, ends up getting delayed by about 2 weeks. So all these are challenges have been there, which I think with most projects most good projects will face. And you just have to get through them, and we will have them, right? They don't stop. There'll be more of them coming, and just us just pushing through them, and with that, just making sure we kind of make sure that we educate the investors, the community about this problem, so they understand, and the KOLs as well. I mean, there's plenty of KOLs that probably, especially the smaller guys, who actually don't understand how it actually works in the background, what actually happens with the larger KOLs, and how the projects actually go about their business. So,
no, absolutely. Do you think you would rather? I mean, I feel like now with them. I know the market conditions are tough, but with things being down and quieting off, it's almost a good time to launch, to where you can kind of get that solid foundation, and then with the next bull cycle, ride the wave up. Versus, some people who start at the peak and then just crash with the market, and then everyone thinks it's a scam, it's a rug pull. It's like, no, it's just the market. But to me, I feel like launching that project when it's a little quieter, and this is the time when we're just putting out a video right now. Actually, I just finished recording a video, just like, hey, we're here, we're still here, we're grinding, we're putting in the work and building right now. Now is the time. So for the next swing up, we're gonna hopefully be leading the pack. To me, this is the best time to build, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and definitely, I think we completely agree with that sentiment, and we've got so many great things coming for KOLnet. I mean, it's just not the IMO concept, is the project's launching, but then once a project has launched, then how does it continue to get that engagement and grow that community around that project? So we'll be looking at like what we're calling post-launch marketing, and effectively supporting tokenized economies in building that bridge to adoption. And then also a much longer view, as we're in talks with layer ones who are really keen on the model, but taking it into almost a distributed fashion, whereby anyone can do an IMO. So when I say anyone, it's more like the VCs or accelerators or even projects. So effectively, we become like KOLnet effectively is driven through a DAO, whereby data is extracted from any social media platform, be it Twitter, YouTube, even decentralized ones like DeSo. So that data effectively sits in a distributed on the blockchain. It's on chain, so almost like an Oracle as a service, and then anyone can then build their IMO model and drive the utility through the token. So, I mean, it is super cool, and we're built for the long term. We are a long-term project, and if you just think about how much money is moving through crypto and how much of that is marketing, well, that's what KOLnet will be dealing with.
No, it's super cool. I love to hear that. Love to hear future plans, right? So much projects coming in with the hype, with the excitement, and just kind of like raising a bunch of money, and then here's our project, and then it delivers, and then dies. And this, having that future vision, having a big plan, long-term plan in place is so critical. I feel like right now, and that's what people are looking for. People are looking for faces, docs, teams that are here for the community and here for the long term, and not just cash grabs, not just rug pulls and these kind of things. So building trust and building that community around your project, I think is just going to be massive. So excited to see your future plans play out, especially And yeah, and do you have any other thoughts on as far as like the future of marketing? I mean, I guess you're trying to build the future of marketing currently, but you know, is there anything else that kind of comes to mind when you think about like future plans for cryptocurrency and marketing and like how this all kind of plays out?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I covered a lot of it in that last one, but I think,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I mean, we're going to see movements and changes within the space definitely over the next 5 to 10 years. Look, we've seen this with Instagram, we've seen this with the introduction of TikTok, where that usership goes to, how do you integrate with that, how do you drive a reward model that really works, because I think a lot of people have been disincentivized, and it really, I mean, gamers is a really good example of that. There's so much demand, money, and usership within gaming. But look, if you speak to these gaming KOLs, they've become completely disinterested with the likes of conventional reward models within social media platforms. So offering that within a decentralized model,
Right.
I think almost making them investors and long-term partners with those projects makes total sense then, because when that project does well, then they do well as well. And they bring their expertise to actually say, you know what, this is a good project, this is a long-term project, it will do well, and therefore they grow with the entire space. So it goes into like the whole decentralized, so within the .com bubble, a lot of the big players and a very closed circle of people who make all the big cash, whereas with the decentralized model, everyone can get involved, and this is the beauty of it. And so how that space turns out to be in the next 5-10 years is, I guess, is anyone's guess.
Sure.
But I think KOLnet is ideally placed to be the data providers crunching that data, offering things like, which we haven't talked about much here, but it's proof of marketing, which is super cool, providing consensus on work done and therefore remuneration on chain for that work done, so that it's safe, transparent. It keeps those guys who are doing the rug pulls and the scams away. So it really does balance things out for people, and I think that is so powerful. Just a powerful outlook for the future to come.
No,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
as also as the space grows, right? We've already got this huge challenge. We're doing something about it. We're not going to be able to eliminate it, but we can definitely do something about it without actually being able to discuss how we're doing it, because that's going to kind of sort of bots and this fake followership and all those avenues that basically takes away the genuineness of the engagement of the KOLs. And with the market growing, and the marketing side growing, that's only likely to increase, right? So one of the challenges is going to be within KOLnet and even outside of it. How do you kind of bring that or limit that, and to make sure that you are getting the best out of the influence and the marketing that project is reaching out for?
No, absolutely. It's cool too, because yeah, it's cool seeing marketing being transformed through crypto and blockchain as well. I mean, we think about, you know, finances, we think about transfer of value and all this kind of stuff, but you know, value at the end of the day comes in many shapes and sizes. Marketing being a huge one, obviously. I mean, it's crucial to every business and every project ever. So, I mean, the fact that, you know, you guys are taking that innovative step towards kind of transforming marketing towards the future and integrating blockchain and crypto for the benefit, like I said, of both sides of the equation, I think is super, super cool. And you know, it's really exciting for me to see it, to witness it all. So yeah, it's awesome, guys. Congratulations on everything so far. Do you have anything in particular else you guys want we didn't cover that you might want to share with the community? Or I mean, I know we covered a lot here, so kind of final call here for any other information you guys want to share.
If you're an influencer, if you're a KOL, go find KOLnet.io, pre-register, get involved. We certainly want to hear from you and involve you with what we're building. We are doing our IDO on Gamestarter, so check that out as well. We know the market is there is definitely some hesitancy within the market at the moment. But of course, KOLnet is a long-term play. So if you believe in what we're trying to achieve, then I think you'll definitely be pleased with what we've got coming. So yeah, check that out, and yeah, we'll be announcing. The exchanges will be listing on very soon.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much, Ryan, Atif. We're awesome conversation. Loved hearing about your side, like I said, in the story and everything. Guys, like I said, keep an eye out for Gamestarter, our initial offering coming out on our platform again. The first non-game project that's we launched off of Gamestarter. So we're excited to have them for sure. I know I got excited thinking about this project for the long run. Sounds like a really cool play, and we're grateful for projects like this that are coming into the space with trust, transparency, and with a long-term plan. So this just brings more confidence to the market in general, and the more projects we have like this, the better we're all going to do in the long run with crypto and blockchain in general. So thank you guys so much for coming on. We'll best of luck to everybody, and we'll obviously be keeping in touch.
Appreciate it. It's been great speaking with you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Take care.